Episode 4, Survivor 49 just happened. They switched up tribes, and I have a lot to say about it. We're talking about Survivor Squared. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony Squares. Every week I have a Survivor 49 companion podcast on here. We're bringing on guests. We have a fantasy league. It's a lot of fun. If you want more of Tony Squares and the Survivor Squared universe, I can't believe I just called this whole thing a universe, feel free to like, subscribe, help the channel grow. I do truly appreciate it. But today, we're talking about Episode 4. My man Matt with the dreadlocks went home. They switched the tribes around, and now we have to decide who's going to go where. Alliances are being formed. Everyone hates Shannon. So much to talk about that I cannot do it alone. So please, welcome back onto this little YouTube island. Bailey Buffs, come on back in, my ride or die. Let's go.
Hello, hello. Good to see you, Tony.
Bailey, there was a lot happening this show. No medical evacuation, but we do have another vote out. We've now voted out 5 people in season 49, and we're starting to get the ball rolling on this season a little bit. I have a lot of things to say about what happened this episode, but there was some fun Survivor stuff this episode. People flip-flopping, alliances being made, trying to work out the strategy of the whole thing. This was definitely the most Survivor-y episode of this season so far.
We finally got to get to know some people on the other 2 tribes. It was really great. We got to know, Shannon a little bit more. We got to know Sophi with an E a little bit more. We got to see more sides of Matt. We got to see more sides of, Rizzo and Nate's relationship. I really thought we got to dive deeper into who these people are, and that was really fun for me.
I loved it. We talked about the past few weeks how there's been confessionals about certain people. Savannah and Rizzo seem to be the stars of this season, but we haven't even had a confessional from Sophi with an E yet, and then now she suddenly is a part of it. We see more of Sage. We see more of Steven, and it's not just them telling us about how horrible their lives are off the island. Instead, we're talking about actual stuff happening on the island. I really, really enjoyed it. And the tribe switch I know you guys saw the thumbnail, you saw the title of the episode. This tribe switch, to me, needed to happen because of all the ramifications that came from it. Do you agree? How do you feel about this tribe switch?
Absolutely. I mean, of course it needed to happen solely just for the fact that Kella was dwindling down. It had no numbers anymore. But also, again, I think we needed to start the game. I mean, these other 2 tribes have just been kumbaya. There's been nothing going on. They haven't had to attack anyone. We got into that a little bit, actually. They had said that to Jason and them, like, you guys are so kumbaya and you haven't even started playing the game. So I think this was thrusting all of these contestants to actually start playing, to start outwitting, to start outplaying, to start really making those alliances solidified, starting to see who their enemies are, who's on the outs. The game started this episode in my brain.
The game started and then ended for one person in particular, because we did have to send someone home. And so we like to start off Survivor Squared the same way every single week, where we say goodbye to the person voted off that episode. See you later, out of Fiji, on the plane, back home. And we cannot snuff the torches out in my apartment here, but we can say goodbye in our own special way. So please, if you would bow your head along with us, close your eyes, take a deep breath, a little moment of silence for Matt as we hit his Survivor Gravestone. Some call him a New York financier. I know him as a baggage guy with locks. Matt set his sights on Sophi, Jason, and Nate, but drew blind when his gun cocked. So we say farewell to my predicted season 49 desperado. He disparaged Sandra's game, but the scoreboard says Sandra 2, Matt 0.
That was great. I really liked that. Matt, you thought you were safe with Hina and that all the vibes were good. Still, you effed up at the challenge and couldn't walk across some wood. You scrambled to protect yourself and tried a bad blind side. But in the end, sir, you got. I guess the dude doesn't abide.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. So yes, Matt gets voted off. He and a tribe takes their first loss. Uli tribe is still 6 strong. Kella tribe hanging on by a thread. And all of this happened. This whole entire episode happened because we decided to do a tribe switch at 14 people. Jeff gives you a little insight. They bring all the people to the island. There's a fake challenge behind them, and it's not a challenge, it's a fake out, a Survivor fake out. Never heard those two words together before, but good for you, Jeff. But Jeff brings them all together to drop you buffs, pull new ones. We're going down to 2 tribes. Bailey, this is the title of the show. This is the thumbnail caption. You don't know this title yet because I have an argument to make. And I just want to get my opinion out there in front of you so we can debate this. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but Bailey, I hate tribe switches. I think they ruin the game of Survivor. And I understand you have to deal with uncertainty. I understand Survivor tries to switch things up all the time, but every single time a tribe switch happens, there are clear winners and clear losers, and it sets the direction for the future of the season based on no fault of the people on the island. Matt didn't deserve this. Jason didn't deserve this. They did not deserve to be put on a tribe with 4 other Uli members of a warring faction through no fault of their own. And then on the other side, Sage and Shannon did not do anything to deserve to be on the bottom again. They were working with their original 6 against another original 6, and because they defeated Kelly so much, now Kelly gets new life at the cost of 4 other people. And this has happened many times in Survivor history, and maybe it's because I am doing my rewatch here, or my watching for the first time. I'm going through every season from 1 to 50 to try and catch up and watch and be ready at season 50 having seen everything. I'm making recaps every weekend on my social channels. You can follow along with me. I just met Tony for the first time and did his season, and season 28 was my recent season. And let me walk you through the last 3 seasons here. That would be Season 26, Caramoan, where Cochran wins. Blood versus Water, where Tyson wins. Season 28, where Tony wins, right? Those are the 3 seasons I just saw. Season 26, after Brandon Hands flips out, throws the rice on the ground, takes himself out of the game, right? The favorites have been dominating the fans over and over again. But because Brandon throws himself out of the game and the favorites finally have a crack in their armor, the next episode, what does Jeff and the Survivor do? A tribe switch, where both tribes now have 4 favorites and 3 fans. And doesn't matter how you slice it, the fans lose out over and over again. So the fans got screwed by a tribe switch. Season 28, Blood versus Water. They have a tribe switch near the merge. Vetus, Aris's brother, is suddenly on a tribe with 5 other women, and all the dudes end up on the other tribe, and they just dominate them in the challenges because of that, through no fault of Vetus. Vetus did nothing wrong, and yet because of a random tribe switch, he is easily kicked out of the game because he makes no friends, and they lose people over and over again. Season 28, the season I just saw, 3 tribes, just like the one we're watching right now. Brains versus Beauty versus Brawn. The Brains team is so pitiful, so absolutely pitiful, that they get demolished over and over again. But when there's 3 people left, they do a tribe switch, and luckily enough, all of the Brains people end up on the same tribe with a handful of Beauty people and 1 Brawn. Every single time there's a tribe switch, people get their asses handed to them, but they've done nothing to deserve it. I hate tribe switches, Bailey, and it has clearly affected this island right here. How do you feel?
So I have many thoughts on what you just said. I think it's very interesting, and well done on your homework, Tony. I'm so proud of you. My first question is, what do you suggest they do instead then? Because if they didn't, tell me.
Easy. They've done it before. Again, I'm watching all these things. I probably know too much about Survivor. They've done it before, and they don't do it anymore, and it makes me mad. Even in these season 26, 27, 28 seasons, they've refused to do it. It's a schoolyard pick, okay? You have 2 members of the Kelly tribe. Have Sophi and Alex split up and have them draft 1 by 1, 1 from Uli, 1 from Hina. If that gives Blue too much power, fine. I remember Survivor Gabon. The tribes had to power rank the other tribes randomly. Who do you think's going to win? They power ranked them, and then they all stood on a podium like they were getting Olympic medals. And then that's how they split it up. The number 1 from over here matches with the number 2 from over there, and it was a part of the game. It involved strategy. People couldn't figure it out. It wasn't just a random pick a rock out of a hat, and that sets you on your new path in Survivor. Listen, if I had done 10 days worth of work to make my alliances in my tribe, build it up so we never lost a challenge once. He'd have never lost a challenge. They came in first every single time, Bailey. And just because of that, because of a random pick, I'm now Matt on a new tribe with 4 people from the other one, where Rizzo says it's the Yankees versus the Red Sox. That's an actual quote he uses. You know what I want to see as a Survivor fan, Bailey? The Yankees versus the Red Sox. Not 2 Red Sox suddenly on the Yankees team getting left out at the bus stop. It doesn't make any sense. Give us an actual fight between these 2 great tribes. Don't even the playing field at Kella's expense. I hate tribe switches.
You know, I do agree with you. Something that I was disappointed that we didn't get to see was there clearly is such a hatred and tension between the Ule tribe and the Hina tribe. We saw that even when they come into the fake challenge, and Juwan and Savannah are going, ugh, cringe, embarrassing at Hina. I didn't realize how deep that hatred was. It would have been better TV, I agree, to actually see those 2 teams fight to the death. And you're right. I mean, I guess part of my opinion is just, well, that's Survivor. But, you know, that's a stupid way to look at it. I think you're absolutely right. I do miss the schoolyard picks. I liked that better because then we are going to see a little bit more even. You're going to see the big beast guys go first, or you're going to see the puzzle people go first. You're going to have Hina choose Hina. You're going to have Ule choose Ule, you know. So you're right. I do agree with you. I mean, I will say at least it is completely randomized. You know, at least there is no way that it, you know, it's totally randomized. It could have gone a different way. It could have been 3 and 3 on each. And I will say on top of that, something that I really didn't like with this tribe swap, instead of having the 2 teams go to the Ule and the Hina camps, they have them go to the Kella and the Hina camp. So you clearly are going to have a worse life and a worse like camp life. So it just, that seems so unfair as well. And because when we did this initial tribe swap, I thought the Hina tribe looked so much stronger. Obviously, they ended up losing that challenge, but it seemed almost like, wow, this is the stronger team and they get to be at the better camp. That kind of seems unfair.
You're absolutely right in the fact that the tribe swap not only messes up the actual tribe affiliations, but the Hina tribe gets 5 of the 7 boys, which, no offense to the, battle of the sexes here, but in most of these physical challenges, a guy like Matt, a guy like Nate, a guy like Juwan is going to beat up a girl like Shannon. MC can hold her own. Don't get me wrong. MC might be the best athlete on the beach, but most of the time,
MC's a beast.
Most of the time, Kristina versus Matt is going to go in Matt's favor. And so you purposefully split up these tribes. The producers split up these tribes before the show starts to even out the physical playing field to the best of their knowledge. They try to even out the physical playing field the best they can. This random switch, yes, it's random. Congratulations. But you cannot even it out. You cannot define an even playing field if it's just random. And this one seemingly, though they lost the first tribe, but we both know who's going to be on Survivor 50. They're both on one tribe right now. Clearly, one tribe's going to do a hell of a lot better and start to control this game. Season 49, we kind of know a little bit of the picture at the end of the rope here. And this tribe switch, Bailey, is the reason it happens. And that pisses me off.
I completely agree with you. I mean, I think it was also interesting talking about going to that worst camp, the arguably less strong team going to the worst camp. I didn't even realize that Kella was sleeping on the sand on the beach. We saw that in the first scene. Poor Sophi and Alex getting woken up by the water hitting them. I thought they at least had a little bit of a camp like everybody else. I didn't realize that they were just bare bones in it, man. Sleeping on the beach. Sophi loses a shoe. The Shoe Bandit returns, baby. I thought that was a beautiful homage that the ocean decided to do that in Jake's honor. But yeah, I mean, it is, you're right. And you talk about leveling the playing field. They do have it as even as possible to start with. And with a randomized switch like this, it isn't even anymore. No. There's part of me that goes, well, that's just Survivor. It's the way it works. Sometimes it's not even. But I think it's so much more impressive then if at the end someone from this new Kella tribe, who's on the outs, if Sage can somehow manipulate this and stay in, that girl deserves to win. I mean, it opens an opportunity. It's a hard opportunity. It's nearly impossible, but it does open a door for Survivor players to go from good to great. And so to become legends, arguably, if they can really somehow dig themselves out of this hole, and we have seen that before. but it's a risk, and it's
No, I
not
hear you.
normal. It doesn't normally play off in their favor. So, yeah, let's bring back the schoolyard pick, Jeff. Come on.
Just add some strategy to it. But we get the tribe switch. The tribe switch happens, and as you said, all four of these players that are now on the bottom, Kelly aside, they present different. They both are presented with the problem of, now I got to figure this out. How do I suddenly work from the bottom here? And all four of them kind of take a different approach in doing so. Jason immediately says, I'm staying with Hina. I'm going to play my shot in the dark if I have to. You guys should keep me around because I'm good at challenges. I am going to talk my way out of this and hopefully stay alive till Hina gets back. There's nothing you can convince against me. Matt, on the other hand, immediately starts drawing back his arrows. Who could I take out? Who could I take out? Nate is the kingpin. Sophie's all alone. Maybe I'll take out Jason. Matt immediately goes predator mode. A guy I thought was going to be the villain starts to get villainous. On the other side, Shannon is friends with everybody. Let's make friends. Let's talk about God. Let's do yoga poses. Let's do it all. Shannon tries to befriend the new tribe to protect herself, and Sage points her ire at Shannon. If someone's going to go out, it ain't going to be me. All four players taking vastly different approaches, Bailey. Before I ask you which one do you think is better, I ask you which one do you think you would do?
I'm going to regret saying this because I have thoughts about this person. I don't like her, but I would take more of a Shannon approach. I would just try to be buddy with everyone. I would try to find the thing that is going to connect us, the thing we can bond over. That's just who I am, though. I would be such a social player, especially right after a tribe switch. I am not going to be shooting my arrows at people and trying to go hard. That being said, I'm talking about the team that won. They didn't lose. So that is a little bit different. If I had been on the losing team, maybe I would have had to play a little bit more aggressively. I definitely would not have taken the Jason approach. I thought that was very dumb of him, in all honesty. He's on my fantasy team, and I was like, Jason, get it together, my guy. What are you talking about? Why are you telling these people to their face, I don't want to work with you? When has that ever worked in the past? Because undoubtedly, if that team loses again, he's out. He stands no chance. He is out. So I would take the Shannon approach of trying to at least bond, find common ground with these people, try to establish some sort of foundational relationship. That being said, I thought it was very interesting to watch, Shannon's leading her little morning yoga, and we see both Steven and Alex just sitting there with their eyes open, kind of looking around going, is this really what we're doing? And Sage does not vibe with Shannon either. So while, yes, Shannon is making these connections with some people, I think she's also pissing some people off.
I would take a Matt approach. I would try to find the cracks in the Power Four and see if I could weasel my way in there, because there might not be a crack. But at the end of the day, if you try to stay Hina strong, as you said, Jason's the next one out. If you try to befriend everybody, some people are going to think you're trying to be a little bit shady. And even if Sage gets Shannon out, she draws her ire at Shannon, Sage is probably not long for this world after that, because she would then be alone. I think Matt's route, even though he tried to fire his gun at everybody, that wasn't smart. I think you have to put someone else's head on the chopping block and say to someone like Juwan or to Savannah or to Rizzo or to Nate, you're on the bottom, let's put you on top. And that's probably not going to work out 95% of the time, but 5% of the time you change the game and you're now leading this power alliance that's completely flipped. So that's the way I would have gone. Matt, however, didn't work out for him.
I did. There was a moment, though, when he was talking to Juwan and was pointing out that crack. Because, again, pre-tribe switch, we knew Juwan was on the outs. They had made that very clear in their tribe that Juwan was on the bottom. So going into this new tribe, and now they're all buddy-buddy, strong four core, it's like, well, we know as the audience, Juwan is the fourth of that four. So it was smart of Matt to be like, okay, why don't we get me, Jason, Juwan, and Sophi? Unfortunately, Sophi and Savannah were just besties right off the bat, girls club, immediately. And there was a moment in that scene, that they showed Juwan and Matt talking, that I started to go, oh my God, Juwan's going to go for it. They're going to go for Nate? Wow. And then cut to his confessional, and Juwan's like, absolutely not, bro. I'm just messing with you. Like, I'm just going along with it. But they had me for a second there. I thought Matt was going to be successful for Just a little bit there.
Well, someone's got to split eventually. This is Survivor. If we get the final 6 being all of the Uli members originally, good for them. But I assume someone's going to flip before then. And I thought it was going to be Juwan. He almost fooled me as well. But Juwan's a cute and smart guy. I think he's got a long leash. That's why he also is on my fantasy team. Shall we talk about Shannon? Because I do believe that's the second biggest thing to come from this episode. Shannon, for those of you who aren't permanently online, Shannon has been kind of let's just say the least favorite contestant in the online world. A lot of people are coming after her for various things. We're not going to get into them. On the show, seemingly enough, coincidentally enough, timing seems to be everything, because this show shows that Shannon is leading this yoga chant, and as Bailey said, 2 people are kind of looking at each other side-eyed like, are we really doing this? I guess we're really doing this. And she also, and I'm surprised Survivor did this because New Era Survivor kind of stays away from this, she's talking about God every chance she gets, talking about how God saved her, she found God herself, she found God late, and now God is leading her in a different way. She's speaking about Bible verses, she's talking about, she's trying to remember things that Jesus has said, and you can see her brain working to try and connect it to the situation. And on top of that, both Steven, who I didn't like, and now this whole confessional changed my opinion on him completely. Both Steven and Sage, who's been the one that's been portrayed as the weirdo, the kind of off the wall. She even said how she collects blackhead pimples this episode, which is odd as can be. But both Steven and Sage had a confessional straight to camera, not an aside, not something the camera catches and you have to write the captions below it so we hear it correctly. No, straight to camera, say this whole Shannon thing, spirituality, God all the time. I believe Steven calls her a shark, and Sage calls Shannon performative. This whole arc in this season is really like, if I was Shannon, I'd feel really shitty about how this Survivor edit is treating me. But how do you feel about Sage and Steven's words about Shannon?
I would love to trust Shannon, but I feel like Shannon's been laying it on thick with her spirituality and religion here, which no shade towards that at all. I just noticed like she's talked about it a lot more over here once she saw everybody perked up.
I don't even feel like the edit is doing a disservice to her. I think that that's just how she's behaving. I don't think she's getting a bad edit per se. I don't know how I feel about her, if I'm being honest. She hasn't pissed me off to the fullest extent yet, but I don't trust her. I do think there's something performative. I like that that word was used because I felt like that was true. And I thought Sage made a really good point of saying, when we were at Hina, she wasn't talking about this nonstop all the time. But now that she has this new audience of people that are also, interested in that lifestyle, she won't shut up about it. So it is interesting. I don't know if it's performative or if it is just finding your people and getting excited about a mutual bond that you have. I don't know. I'm skeptical, though.
Peeling back the curtain a little bit, Bailey and I went to school for drama at Syracuse University, Syracuse Theater. And in that, had a wonderful time, wonderful people, wonderful teachers. But in the world of drama, you meet a lot of people who are outwardly performative. I'll never forget, I was seeing someone, a lady friend, and my mom met her for the first time. And this relationship did not last forever, we'll put it that way. And my mom, as I'm walking mom back to the car, she just looks at me and goes, "She's always on stage, that one." And that kind of has changed my outlook on a lot of people, because we've dealt with people who are purely performative. And that performative can be a shield to try and present a certain version of themselves that they want other people to see. That performative can also be kind of a weapon, kind of a way to diffuse a situation or to act more innocent than you are, or to get away with some things in a certain way, or maybe you're trying to fit in with a certain group so you can expose them later. That performative can be aggressively used as well. And I've yet to see which performative Shannon is, because I don't know her. Obviously, I don't know who she is. However, putting the pieces together, and I tried to do this when we first did our predictive episode, when I went through and tried to research these guys, tried to look where they're from, try to find out things about them. I found out a lot about Shannon and her family and what they own in Boston and how they run their lives in Boston. I am from Boston. I did the most digging I could on Shannon. And you asked me on our predictive show right away, Tony, are you a fan of Shannon? And I didn't answer you purposefully because I don't want to say I saw this coming, but I definitely saw a couple of things that made me a little, they didn't rub me the best way. And again, we don't have to be buddies. I would never hang out with Steven in my life. I'm now rooting for him to do well in this show because of what I've seen on this show, okay? I do not need to like these people to root for them in Survivor. However, I don't want to fully come out and say terrible things about people I've never met, especially when they're from my hometown and especially when I could definitely meet them and people they know in the future. I don't want to say anything that's going to get me or anyone I know in trouble. However, there's stuff about Shannon from the jump I've never liked, and that's the type of person that I would purposefully, when we were at school, Bailey, stay away from and not interact with and not want to go out and get beers with, because I know I can see right through it. And I'm an actor too. And I know when you're putting on a show. Again, I can't get over the fact that Survivor edited those 15 minutes together sequentially the way they did, because they really, really painted Shannon in a specific light, and it was not a good one. And as you said, it might not be the edit. That might be the best version of Shannon that Survivor has shown us. So we don't know. But that 15 minutes kind of, and again, the timing is unbelievable, but that 15 minutes really set us up to not like her.
I mean, in terms of performative, like you said, I think a lot of times it is used as a manipulation tactic. It is used to get people close to you, to get people to trust you, just for you to turn around and screw them over and stab them in the back. Talk about theater school, throw people under the bus. I mean, we both have had that happen with some of these people who are very similar to Shannon. It is this, we're best friends until it no longer serves them anymore. Yeah, I'm just on the fence about it, because I know that person so well, and more of the time it does feel more in your face performative. This didn't feel as in your face to me, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking for the best in everybody. Maybe I'm just really hoping that maybe she's not as awful as it seems like she might be.
I want to be clear. I do want to open up a little bit. Like, the stuff we're kind of alluding to is definitely how she's talking about how she's a full hippie vibes, yoga, meditative. She talks about on Survivor how she runs a woman's community called Her Vibes or whatever, trying to base on connecting spirituality to God and all this stuff. She doesn't do any of that anymore. She's posted about all that. She's leaving. I don't know the exact way she phrased it, but pretty much said she's leaving the hippie stuff behind.
I am throwing away all of my hippie spiritual stuff
in order to focus on her true calling, which is going forward with God, which again is fine. If you're a religious person, that's fine. But the Shannon we're seeing right now is already vastly different than the Shannon who's in real life, and this is not that long ago of a video. Like, we're not I'm watching stuff from the 2000s and the 2010s in my Survivor rewatch. This happened last year, so I understand people can go through phases, but this is an abrupt switch, and there are certain reasons why the switch happened that people are finding out about online. And it is just an interesting cat. We'll put it that way. Sorry to cut you off, baby.
Yeah. No, you're good. It is interesting. And I think also something that Shannon said herself this episode, which really alludes and kind of confirms what you're saying, because I thought it was very interesting the way that she said it. She said, I've been really into Jesus these past few weeks. So it's very interesting for you to say that timing-wise, to be like, oh, so she's kind of maybe just starting her journey of like really following in God's light and God's footsteps. Like, maybe this really was kind of the catalyst. Maybe her being on this island and just kind of in the weeks leading up to it, she was kind of exploring this side of herself more. And we're seeing that literally play out in real time now. So that's a very interesting point you made. And yeah, we'll see.
Do you remember when Hamilton came out? The Broadway musical Hamilton?
Of course.
There was a time where that was all I listened to. Like, I'm talking, when that soundtrack came out, I listened to it nonstop. It was my workout playlist. It would play while I was making dinner. Like, it was like nonstop, constant music. And listen, when Hamilton comes on, I'm still singing it in my car. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course.
But we all go through phases, and it's interesting to see Jesus used as a phase. That's, it's interesting.
Yeah, they're really, I love that you're comparing Jesus to Hamilton. But yes, I understand what you mean. And I think that's it's just interesting. Like you said, I don't know if I have a specific viewpoint on it yet. I'm just curious to see how it plays out. I'm glad she's not on my fantasy team is what I'll say.
I think the quote of the week, and I do want to start making this a segment, quotes of the week. I think it's something we kind of let go early, and I want to bring it back because there are some stunners every single week. But the quote of the week to me is when Shannon is talking to Kristina, and they're sharing about how Kristina's mom tragically left us, had a battle with addiction, lost that battle. I really liked Kristina opening up here. And Shannon, to try and connect with her, her line is, one of my best friends from home is also a mom. So she knows a mom, Bailey. I don't know if that makes it. She knows. Do you know a mom? Do you happen to know a mom?
That was
Are you friends with any mothers?
Comment. Of course, I'm friends with multiple mothers. My sisters are mothers. What do you mean? I have a mom. What do you mean? I have a friend who's a mom. I get it. What? I thought you were going to quote the moment where they're all getting to know each other. And Shannon's fun fact is, and I love a shot of tequila. Like, girl, like that makes you special? What do you mean? That's your fun fact? I love a shot of tequila.
Okay, we've been mean girl enough to Shannon. Who knows? She might be the nicest person in the world. She might be the next Greta Thunberg. I don't know.
I wish her well.
I wish her the best. I do want to get into some predictions here because you have been on fire. Every single time you've predicted the next person voted out, it's like you have the screeners coming ahead of time. You are undefeated on predicting the next person to leave this island in season 49.
Right? Crazy, right?
It's insane. Let's get to, first I want to give out our award. Who won this episode?
Sophi, again.
Sophie
I'm
B?
going to give it to Sophi.
With an I?
Yeah, not because she did anything to deserve it, but just because she finally got a break and she bonded with some people. And I think she finally can just breathe for a little bit. So you know what? Maybe she didn't win the episode. Maybe I'm just excited that finally Sophi can like chill and get a good night's sleep and like actually feel safe for a second.
I will say about Sophi, this is not her fault because I repeat myself often as well, but she says how she wants to be adopted and wants to be a puppy that's loved in a confessional direct to camera. And then an hour later in Final Tribal says the same line like Survivor. Just pick one. Like, pick one or the other. Don't show us both. Like, if she's using the same metaphor twice, you don't need to show us both in the same 2 hours. My winner of the episode, Bailey, I'm tough. I'm really tough here because I'm deciding between two. I really like Nate, and I like the way Nate's been playing. The thing that convinced me that Nate is a player is how aggressive he gets against Matt in Final Tribal when Matt comes after Nate and tries to kick Nate out, and Nate is really, really mean to him, and in a good way. Like he's defending his castle. I really like the way Nate handled that. My favorite, though, the winner of this episode, is my dark horse to win the whole thing, MC. I think MC is wonderful. Every time she's on screen, she makes me laugh. She's amazing at physical challenges. I think she's really smart. MC saves the day for that new Kelly tribe, and I like MC a lot. She wins the episode. But Bailey, I guess I'll go first voted out because you're the one that gets it right. So my vote out next week. Yeah, I think it's. I do think Sage sticks the knife in our girl Shannon. I do think Shannon's the one that's going home next week. Bailey, what say you?
I don't want to piggyback off you, but I think it's Shannon. I'm really convinced by some of the moments in the edits of this episode that Alex, Steven, Sage are all going to figure out a way to go after her. I think our girl Shannon is going to bite the dust. I really do. And I don't want to jinx it, but I am 3 for 3 in all my predictions. The only week that I didn't get was Annie, and that's because I was in London and didn't make a prediction. So I am 100% right now. And that's my gut feeling. I hate that we're saying the same one, but I think it's just because
because I haven't gotten a single one.
Be. We finally agree.
Yeah, but that is it for this episode of Survivor Squared. We'll be talking next week, maybe about Shannon, maybe about another person's exit. Who knows? It's going to be a blast. I've really enjoyed this season. Bailey, as a Survivor superfan, I've seen a lot of negativity out there. People love negativity. Truthfully, how are you feeling 4 episodes in here?
Call me naive, maybe. Call me just because I've been obsessed with the show for 25 years. But like, I love every season. Yes, I have feedback. Yes, I have judgments. Like, there are certain seasons that suck, obviously. But like, I just love to watch it. Like, and you know me, I am just an innately positive person. I'm very optimistic. That's who I am as a person. I'm just damn grateful we get 49 seasons of this show and then some, and it keeps going. It's my favorite show. I'm always going to love it. I do like this season more than other new era seasons as well. Maybe that's also because we're doing the podcast and I'm thinking about it in a different way. I'm really diving into the psychology of these people more than maybe I have in the past. But I will watch the show until my last dying freaking days. I got through COVID watching this show on repeat over and over and over. Like, this show means the world to me, and it always will. And there's nothing you can do to make me dislike it. Okay?
And we both really like a tequila shot. So that's a great way.
I love a tequila shot.
That's a great way to end this episode of Survivor Squared. As always, give us a like, give us a subscribe, help the channel grow. We do appreciate it, and we shall see you next week.